Yo, yo, yeah. It's Suite 101. So as soon as you pull in, it's gonna be to your left. There's like a black truck outside. Oh yeah. You probably had the wrong entrance. You come from 610. Yeah, if you come from 610, it's the second entrance. Yeah, I think you told me last time. Hell yeah. There should be like a white, like a, I think it's an avalanche out there. I mean a black avalanche. Bet. All right, I'll walk out there now.
Man, sipping a little bit. It's all good. Got one, two. I think I've been here. I got some recording studios there too. Yeah, okay. I came here with you on. Which side you think?
Yeah, you sit on
that side. All right. Hold a little something.
Yeah, bro, this shit is tripping on me, so we're just gonna go live on YouTube. Do a little editing later. I don't know why this OBS is acting up.
Let me pull you up a little bit. Otherwise, oh, okay, here we go. You got any other interviews tonight too?
Nah, well, homegirl's gonna come by. We might do an episode, depending on what time she gets here. But then with this thing tripping on me, I don't know. I might have to do another live.
Oh, good. That OBS be acting a fool sometimes.
Yeah, man. It's when it works, it's like really good, but
and then it should be glitching out sometimes.
Yeah.
In there. Someone dropped the key. Let me put it right here.
For sure.
Anybody else recording tonight, like in the studio?
Back there, nah. It's a lot of DJs here, so they're doing gigs right now.
You ever seen that boy T walking in and out of here?
Yeah. He's recording here. He was here. I seen him here. Maybe it's been a while, maybe like a year already. But he was here with Chingo Bling. Yeah, he was recording back there with Kevin.
That boy T walking in and out of here. Yeah.
Okay, bet. Damn OBS.
Bro, Slim and everybody over there flip.
Right.
Bro, Slim and everybody over there flip.
Right.
But I be trying. If I don't have to be there and I'm not working the event, I'm good,
avoid
bro.
that shit. Yeah. Just chill. Yeah, you be up and down, dog.
Man, I appreciate it.
Let's see, this is still going. Yep. Mr. Infamous Tex.
Dude.
How you doing today, dog?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, just point
Do I need
mic.
Do I need to have these on? Okay.
You don't have to.
All right, cool.
We look a little cool with them on, but yeah, as long as you're talking to the mic, we're good. Cool.
I don't know why, but somehow I don't know. I never picked up on it. Sometimes it distracted me. I don't know why. Like
the headphones
hearing the echo, sometimes hearing myself.
Yeah.
Always kind of distracted me, but no, man.
And you work in radio.
Exactly. Yeah.
and you can't do the headphones.
No, man. I mean, shit. A lot of the jocks they do. Some, I don't know. I think it's a preference at this time, man. But a lot of podcasts look professional as hell when they do it. So I'm like, hey, y'all do y'all thing. But as long as you're picking me up, and the audio's good, man.
Yeah.
Shit, we'll do it. Let's do it.
Test sound real quick.
Yo, mic check.
Bet. Yeah, bro. Shit. First time I seen you, bro, was at that. It was a video with a bunch of you motherfuckers in it. At 25 lighters.
Oh man, the fam.
Back in the day,
God
dog.
damn. Okay, yeah, you
Back
taking
in
me
the
back.
day, hell
And
yeah.
you from like the north side in that
I'm from
area
north
too,
side,
right?
dog. Yeah, I grew up on fucking Capo and all that shit.
Yeah.
When the shit was jumping, dog. Like
Yeah.
I was in middle school when all that shit was going down.
And those were the good days. I ain't gonna
Good
lie,
days.
man. Like we was out in them streets, you know, we was going through it, but we was talking about it, you
Yeah.
know, and you know, grew up on Zero and all these guys too that we get to now be around and hang around. You know, it's a full
Right.
circle, you know, street military. You know,
Hell yeah.
it's been a lot of full circles so far, man. But yeah, you definitely took me back with that one, man.
Damn. You
Shout
remember
out.
that? That was a
Yeah,
long
oh,
ass
yeah.
video too.
Yeah, yeah. And I recorded and edited it too.
You made that video?
Yeah, I did all the fam videos. It was
No
pretty much all
shit.
of them. The very first video that Capo dropped, I did. Someone else did that one, but after that, I did all those videos. I shot them. I was rapping in them too.
Yeah.
I was hell half the time you saw me rapping in there because I was also doing the video. So I'm like, you know, I was right there in the mix with everybody. But yeah, man, shout out to the fam. You know, that's family right there. You know, of course, my SOT homies too, straight out of Texas, the fam. I mean, it was a moment in time, man. Like you had to be there, man. You from the north side, you definitely know it, especially that era right there, man.
For sure. You saying a bunch of dope shit, and for some reason, can you hear yourself on those?
Let me see. Mic check.
Can you see? Can you hear yourself as good as you hear me?
No.
Right?
Yeah, it sounds a little lower.
Maybe it's just talk on your mic.
Mic check. Mic check. All right, sounds like it's getting a little louder. A little bit louder. Yup. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
That was it, huh?
That's it.
All right, that's all I needed, man. Because you gotta spit some jams on us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
I want to make sure they hear you. You know.
Yep. And I got me a little sippy sip on tonight, so you're gonna get a good interview.
What you sipping on?
Right now, it's whiskey. Yes, whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah. You dark brown. Or it's a bourbon. It's actually no, it's whiskey. I forgot. I tried something new tonight. I usually go with my usuals, you know, Crown, all that. You know, but
what's your usual?
Usually Crown Apple. I like Jim Beam. I'm kind of old school. I like Jim Beam. I like rums and different types, but for sure Crown's gonna be a go-to. I've been about 10 years Henny free. You know
free.
That well
Henny be like making you do wild shit.
I mean, yeah, I've done some of the most wildest stuff
on
Henny. But so I've kind of toned it down a little bit, you know, every so often, you know, they'll kind of throw some shots at me. But when they do shots, it's got to be the tequila.
The tequila, right?
Tequila for sure, you know, Don Julio, 1800, you know, I keep it original. But yeah, tonight, I say, you know, I'm gonna give them a good interview tonight. So you're gonna get a good one right here with the whiskey on deck.
The whiskey.
Yes, sir.
I love whiskey. How you drink your whiskey?
Usually straight, like this right now. I'm drinking it with ginger ale, so that way it's still kind of like club soda or like Topo Chico.
Right.
So that way you're still gonna sip the taste, especially if I got a flavor. If I got like this one's like a peach whiskey or something. I like the flavor stuff. That way I kind of, you know, switch it up a little bit and then just drink or just straight on ice.
Yeah.
To be honest,
that's how I like it.
Crown just straight on ice. You know.
Some people do that neat, just no ice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm that.
Nah.
Great.
I mean, I need it cold. If it's chilled, right?
Cold. Yeah.
Like if I get tequila or something, I'm gonna want them to chill it. Like sometimes, you know, because as it is, it's pricey as hell. So when they give it to you and it's just warm, the shelf warm. Right. Oh no, I need to put that, freeze that. And they got ways of doing it that was so damn quick anyway. So do whatever y'all got to do, make that shit cold.
I like when they put that big ass ice cube in that hole.
Yeah, or the Maker's Mark. I like the Maker's Mark. Those I forget what you call them, but they come with the Maker's Mark, the big old ice, the big old the little ball, whatever.
Yeah.
That shit go hard, man.
Hell
That's my shit right there.
I love whiskey.
Yes, sir.
When I drink, I don't drink too much nowadays, but.
And I actually don't too. To be honest with you, most of the stuff you see me on, I'm usually 100% sober.
Not today. You stressing today or what?
Nah, today I was just like, you know, it's a Friday. When the first Friday is a day off. I've been on the road all day long. Went out to Austin, tapped in with CH Customs. I got a shout out to them guys right there because they do a lot of our pop-up banners, a lot of those lights you see at my shows, the glow ones that you see. They do all that.
And they're in Austin?
Yeah, he's out in Austin. It's my boy Carlos. Carlos with CH Customs. Also shout out to Rich with Rich is his brand, Rich Lifestyle. You got to tap it. That's the father and son. Rich is the son. And they've been doing a lot of stuff since even back in the What It Do days, the Rapid Rick and all that stuff that we were jamming back in the day. They had a lot to do with that whole Austin hip hop scene. And now they do a lot of the custom lights that you see, you know, at the when we're even like at the bump box store down in the Galleria, those lights you see in the top of the thing, they do all those. So they did ours, like the Straight Outta Texas one. They just did a new Hustletown certified one that y'all gonna be seeing on these next upcoming shows that we got going on. We got a lot of stuff 2025. Trust me. Just go ahead and start digging, brother. I got you.
You talking about like shows?
Oh yeah, shows, movies,
all kind of shit.
Boxing,
comedy
stand-ups. I mean, I'm trying to switch it up a lot this year.
Tap it in on everything.
Yeah, we got a really good crew with Hustletown right now that's holding down the music side of everything, so I can kind of step away from that part and start focusing on movies. 2025, I promise you, I'm at least drop one full-length movie, filmed, directed, edited, acting, all that by your boy. Of course, I'm gonna be
So you wrote a script?
Yeah, I got a couple of different scripts. I actually started movies first before Hustletown even was I launched Hustletown, right? Okay. So after the music stuff, the fam, SOT, around 2015 is when I stopped doing music, and I kind of had to make that choice really for this to really work, right? Platform wise, and I can get more into that here in a little bit, but 2015 is when I started doing going into movies and casting calls and acting, and I got a couple of different roles. They were all more, they always kind of had me as like Mexican number 1, Mexican number 2, or like a henchman, black leather coat type of thing. And, I had a couple of lines here and there. But I got to experience on the back end of the movies as far as being responsible for the soundtracks, because I knew a lot of the Houston artists and a lot of these directors didn't have those plugs that I knew in the streets. So I'm like, okay, well, I can get you some music. The last song I ever did was actually intro of Trap Plane. It was a series that we have. It's on Amazon Prime right now still. I did that intro song. I was like, you know what? I'm only gonna do intro shit and like shit like that from now on. Like, I'm done trying to be in line with the rest of them. Right. I already did that for so long. Now, going into the movies and then eventually starting Hustletown Network, I was able to utilize a lot of the plugs and the stuff I learned while I was doing music, with this. Because when I was doing music, like the fam and SOT stuff, I was always so still like the backbone of a lot of that stuff. I just didn't really know it at the time, right? Because I wanted to be a rapper, but at the same time, I was directing all my movies, my videos, doing all my graphics, being the one on the phone call, setting up all our shows, and then I had a crew of artists, but that's that one person that's doing a lot of the main stuff. And so when the music stopped, I was able to kind of continue still being in the industry because I was the one setting up our shows. So now, I got the venues and the connections with these stuff. So, whenever I want to do stuff now, I already got, I got all those connections. Plus, with the artists like yourself, people who do remember us out there shooting in the gym with them, basically, I'm able to still have that relationship with the artist because I was an artist too. You know what I mean? So it makes it easier.
Back then, it was I would say a lot more harder and more expensive too.
Yeah. A lot more because nowadays, it's right there on,
shit wasn't
social
so
media.
accessible. Yeah.
I mean, now a kid at home could sit there and record a song, throw it on SoundCloud, and go viral. We didn't have all that.
And promote it. You don't even got to go outside.
Off the internet and already have thousands of followers. We didn't have any of that back in the day. We had MySpace. You got to
go out there with flyers and shit.
We literally had MySpace, and you still had to print up flyers. You had to print up your CDs. You had to do all that out the trunk era. Remember Remember them days? Shout out to Haterproof. Haterproof was really the ones that seeing Big C's. I always try to keep up with them guys because he was doing his own videos. He was doing his own mixtapes, and so I was doing a lot with the fam stuff too. But I was motivated by people like him. Shout out to my boy Frank Lopez, Compound Films. The guys that were doing it back then. And, I was able to transition over.
So that inspired you to the whole Hustletown Network?
Yeah, well, it inspired me to do video work, like to do video, seeing those guys do their videos. Yeah. They were rapping and they're Mexican and they're from the north side and all that. I'm like, well, shit, I was able to look into it. Plus a lot of odd jobs that I had. I work, one of the jobs was Office Depot, right? So, while I'm there, I'm learning about the cameras and the memory cards you need and the certain stuff that, so then I would take that home and figure, start doing all the videos, the softwares they had all there, learning. We were doing Acid Pro. Well, not doing Acid, but Acid Pro was the program, the recording program, Sony Vegas, learning how to do videos, and I was still in my thug days too. So I was hitting licks the whole damn time, but I'm like, I ain't can't, shit, we're gonna learn this program tonight.
Hell
you
yeah.
know, we're gonna get this. We got some cameras, we got some hard drive. We're starting to learn, you know, how to do certain things. So I just always kind of learned more and more about it, and it just got me more. Eventually, I really had no passion to even do music no more. And the reason for that was because I was actually getting out of a very toxic relationship, 2015, and because out of just pettiness or whatever, the chick had broke my hard drive with all my everything, like and I was one of them artists. So artists, if you're watching this, don't be one of them artists that hoards all your music, because I was one of those guys, right? I'm like, I'm gonna eventually put this out later on in the future once I have the right features, and so I'm hoarding on these songs. Like some songs have one verse with a hook, and I'm gonna say that for Chingo or say that. And I was saving all these, so I had like albums of different shit that I was planning on put out different times. Instead of just nowadays, you can just literally drop it, upload it on the distro, whatever the fuck, and get it out there quick. So, you know, but back then it was, you know, have a plan for all your stuff. You gotta everything, and it all cost the money too back then. So, you know, we would all, well, when I have that, I'm gonna do that. Man, I lost it all in a blink of an eye. I'm talking about even, you know, my son's birth videos and just personal stuff, old photos, whatever, all that stuff just gone. And so instead of going right back to square one, trying to start all over, I said, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna.
Wait, how you respond to that though? She broke your shit. What do you do?
I mean, shit. There really nothing else I could do. I mean, besides get pissed, get toxic back. You know, domestic stuff all going on as far as like having to. I had to call the law to get her out of there, because I'd have been in these type of things. You know how it is with a female argument. I've been in plenty of those before, and I didn't had a lot of zero moments with these females at one point to where I'm like, nah, I don't even play that shit. I'm like, hey, you gotta go, or I'm here. Put this video. Hey, you know, hey, you gotta go, because all you gotta do is come pull up with some other shit, and you know the laws are gonna believe that before they believe someone like me. But it was a real easy. No, it was not an easy transition actually. It was so 2015 that happened. 2017 is when I started Hustletown. 2016 is when I started kind of doing some. So it was about a good year of just being one of those artists that kind of like was mad at the world, like kind of like, you know, you back then, you know, I'm listening to the radio and it's all this new shit. Fuck this shit. They didn't play that real shit. I've been there before, bro. I was that guy. I was bitter. You know, I was, you know, I just couldn't. I was just like, oh man, if I just had the right, you know, investors, some people, you know, I'm just missing the money part. I just need that spark to really blow. Man, I was still thinking so not outside the box. I was just thinking so small at the time, and did not know that what it could really have turned into, you know. And a lot of it too was just leadership, you know, kind of like I said, being the one that was always doing the videos, set like what you're doing here, you know what I mean? That's already doing more than most people would even care to do, right? A lot of artists would like to do the recording in the studio, going to do the shows, the fun stuff. But it's when you learn this stuff that can really get you a lot further in life, or learning, doing podcasts and creating other content instead of just trying to be in line, you know, with the rest of them. You could still do music, but if you got if you're learning other stuff, you never know where it can go. And we need more nowadays. Look at it. It's a very podcast world, like, you know, and people are content hungry right now. So the people who did do stuff like what you're doing or going in those other directions are winning right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And but yeah, man, how's everything looking on that end? Everything still good?
Yeah. So how do you go from the SOT and the fam to Hustletown Network?
So let me see, how did we start with that? So in between that helped, that merger was going in films, like wanting to be directing and stuff. You know, I wasn't directing just yet, but I got real cool with Juan C. Vasquez. He's a director that did the movie Through the Valley back in the day, that was filmed out there in the north side. You know, they had Noel G, the guy who plays Hector in all the films, and you know, they had some good cameos. Danny Trejo was in the movie. This was all north side too. They shot the whole thing on the north side. And I remember at the time when I was an artist, I remember seeing that film and being real like, man, one day I'm gonna do a movie like these guys did it. Saw Cavalcade on the movie. Fucking, they're playing, you know, they're showing fucking Irvington. And I'm just like, man, this is dope. And so I always kind of had in the back of my mind, well, eventually, 2015, 2016, when I was kind of transitioning to wanting to be an actor, I was going to casting calls and starting to learn how to look that up, submitting headshots, and it was just new. It was new to me. But I was like, well, we're gonna do film. Let's want to do that. Well, I ended up meeting Juan C. Vasquez in person, and he's not even from Houston, but he's been out here forever, and he's done movies out here. So remembering the name and I went to one of his casting calls, and nailed it. Nailed it as far as being an extra, and you'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can play this guy. He looks perfect for that role. All right, cool. Yep. But then being there on set and networking, right? Speaking of, hey man, I do music, trying to come back in like how we, I do a song. Okay, cool, man. That next day I went, wrote a quick verse, went to FM. Shout out to FM. He was one of my. I've been going to FM for years out there, right there in Little York, or in that area, right there in the north side. Right. And went in and recorded my last song over there, which was going to be the intro to Trap Plane. And of course, the stuff I'm rapping about is the stuff that's on the series. So the next time I go to the next shoot, I showed it to them, played it to them. They're like, man, this song is going to make the whole fucking film itself. That song literally almost stole the show on the series itself. Like, that's how it was like, oh shit. And so, and then from there, he's like, well, you go ahead and do the soundtrack. And, so then I was putting on all my homies. Right, so we got like the Capos and the Time, Rashid, all these people. I'm like hitting up on Bazone, hitting up all my people. Like, hey, we about to be on these movies now. So now I'm like, all right, Texas coming and getting everybody, and that's what we did. Then we started premieres and all that, and along the line, after doing movie premieres and going different places, dressed up as suits, just kind of seeing a whole new different way of it. I also got introduced to Jessica Jeans. So me and Jessica Jeans are the ones who started Hustletown Network. Jessica Jeans was a radio jock that had already been in radio for years. She was out here doing radio. At the time, she was on Boom 92, which eventually she went over to 97.9 The Box, same company that owned both. Right. But before that, she was already doing 12-something years out in San Antonio on 98.5 The Beat. So we had connected, and at the time, this is like 2017, but right before we thought of Hustletown Network, was when podcasting was starting to kind of take off. Everything good still? Yeah. So that's when all the podcasting was starting to kind of be a thing, and so they encouraged her at the station, hey, try to start something else new. Like we had Kiati. Kiati was doing the On the Radar stuff. He had the H-Town for Real contest, and he's doing certain outside stuff. So we wanted to do something awesome. That was going to be kind of for the local hip hop scene.
So that was around the same time?
Yeah, it was around 2017 when that started happening. So from 2015 to 2017, it was just mainly film stuff. But when we were given the opportunity from the station to create something else off to the side that can be more like where we can include the local scene, well, I'm like, shit, I got we can create something. So Hustletown Network.
You're like, I know people's.
Well, the thing is, I wanted to take it back to back in the days, like when we had the house party, like Party 104.9 and 104. Remember back in the day, and it was like it was radio, it was on the air, but it was like owned by Latinos, and you were hearing like we had the Chopaholics and 97.9 Switch House, and so it was like the Chopaholics having Chingo Bling, Risky, everybody else who was with the Chopaholics, GT Garza, they were all there, Lucky. We had our own thing back then. Well, one of those radio stations demised, we didn't have that no more. So, we just had 97.9 The Box, and it was corporate too at that. So they weren't really playing local music like they were in the early 2000s when Paul Wall, Mike, and all them were first coming up. Rob G, Houston had the spotlight on them at one time.
But I guess because that was like mainstream, and like the whole country was probably on that shit.
Well, the thing was, hip hop. At the time, hip hop always kind of the spotlight was on a regional thing, right? So like we had it from 2005 to like 2007-ish is when all that, where Houston was like, everybody was all eyes on Houston at the time. Then it went over to Florida, and that's when Khaled and Plies and Rick Ross, all these guys were starting to come out too, and now the spotlight was on them. Then eventually it went to like Atlanta, stayed over there for a long ass time. Dallas and now it came back to Houston.
That's what I was about to say. Like, what do you think now is back?
Yeah. Well, now it's kind of everywhere now. Now you got the drill music in New York. Yeah. You got West Coast still kind of having their.
But now it's everywhere. Like Texas,
but at the
whole state right now is like kind of booming.
Well, I want to say 2018 and up is when it came back to us, when you started having Travis, Megan, Maxo. All these artists that were starting to come back out now. That's when like Houston was coming. It was coming back to us again. It took about 10 years for it to come back to Houston now. Now it's no longer just a spotlight now because of so much streaming and the way things have changed now.
Everybody,
now it's everybody. Like you said, you got the Glorrillas and you got the Scarlip and you got people out there in New York. Now you got the NLE Chop. Like everybody has a fair game now because of streaming, YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's not just a spotlight thing, but for years it was always a regional on who, that's wherever you're hearing. You're in Atlanta forever. And we're just constantly having to hear Atlanta, And then now, again, it's fair game. Now we got, Mexican OT, people like that. We got Mexicans out there now too, killing the game.
Bro, the first time I ever seen or heard of Mexican OT was at one of your shows.
Yeah. Straight out of Texas 5.
The one by the gallery front, yeah.
Yep. Man, that was a legendary night, brother. And everybody who remembers that night or was able to be there, that night is legendary for a lot of different reasons. I mean, but OT, winning that, it put a lot of attention on him. And bro, it changed the game. And it's like everybody saw it. Almost everybody felt it about OT. You know what I mean? Like he really had a good presence. He had like already a fan base there when he was there. He saw a lot of people showing him love. And that dude really changed He changed a lot of our lives, to be honest with you, because now a lot of Mexicans are like hot product right now.
Did you know that? Like seeing him there that night?
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was gonna win.
Like no bullshit. Did you
all bullshit aside? I was like 99.9% sure he was gonna win before the show was even there. Because right before Straight Outta Texas, us putting them in Straight Outta Texas, and that one it was almost like throwing in the wild card, knowing that he's probably still gonna win no matter what. Out of 30 contestants, we were pretty positive he was going to win. Now, on all my Straight Outta Texas, I don't judge any of those. I always have other people judge them. So that way, it's never on Texas hands. Because, when people don't win, people all of a sudden, it's because he cool with that. So that's why I always get other people. And those 3 other people chose him also, which was Low G, Carolyn, and Sean Solo, a producer out here in Houston, very legendary producer. All said the same thing across the board, OT. Like, when we did the judging part, and I was like, okay. And I knew it. I mean, just his presence. Like I'm telling you, it was one of those special moments where you're almost like fucking butterflies. I'm like, this kid's gonna be something big. Yeah. And there's always that doubt in the back of your head too, like, everyone says they're gonna be the big. I hear that all the time, right? But when he blew up, it was like, holy fucking shit, he really did it. Right. Like he really fucking blew up. Yeah. And he did that in less than 12 months after that show. That was on July 8th. 2021 by South by Southwest of 2022, which is February time or whatever, March. He had already signed a $3.5 million record deal. Right. I've never seen that happen in my life.
I was crazy, dude.
I was a fan of Flip and Paul Wall and Chamillionaire when they blew up, but I didn't know them personally. I went to the same school as them. I was born on the same block, Antoine and DeSoto, Candlelight Trails, Inwood, Acres Homes. I'm Northwest baby. Yeah. I did not know them at the time, though, right? I knew them years later. I'm like, hey, man, I used to listen to your shit. OT, I actually knew him. I mean, like I was before when he recorded a La Cobra song, which was his biggest song up until the Johnny Dang. I was the first person. He hopped right back in the car from recording in the studio. And, hey, Tex, I got to show you the new one. I was like, that's going to be the one. And so, like, I was that close. I got working with it was after the Straight Outta Texas. But let me tell you why I had already had the sense that he was going to win was because that Straight Outta Texas, we filmed it in July 8th. Well, right before that, we did the Pop Exotico, the Cinco de Mayo. It was a Cinco de Mayo all Mexican or all Latin virtual concert we did. Remember, because during the pandemic, we were doing a lot of virtual concerts at the time. Were you on one of them too? Or the Slow
Halloween?
Life? Yeah, that was a Hustletown one. Shout out to Artistic Productions, Slow Life. That was a dope ass the way they did it. Like Slow Life has a vibe already as it is at its crib.
Matter of fact, what's crazy? That show where Mexican OT was at. I remember that night because almost every fucking artist had a Slow Life beat. I remember hearing it, Slow Life music. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker.
And not only that, but a lot of people don't know that I actually me and Slow Life won an award together on a film. My very first time meeting Slow Life. Before I even met him, I won him an award because I found Slow Life on the internet on YouTube. And there was this one beat, I used it on a documentary in 2019. I put it in a documentary, and then I won an award with that documentary. And I had told Slow Life, like, hey, I'm using your beat. He gave me he sent it over. We used it on the documentary, and then we won an award. He wasn't there. Maybe he thought too.
What documentary is it?
It was for Lil Jesse. I don't know if you remember that little hip hop artist with the braids, little Mexican kid. He had cancer, and it was I did like a story behind him because he wanted to be a hip hop artist. He had cancer. He beat his cancer basically, was remission. I forgot what you used to call it, but he got to ring the bell and all that. Yeah. We did it with MD Anderson. 97.9 was where I brought him in to do the interview, and then I collaborated with Slow Life on the soundtrack for the music in the background. And Slow just sent it over like, yeah, it's cool. And I literally just found this Slow Life on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I knew he was from Houston. I can kind of tell because I went and looked him up, and his Instagram, everything was very vague. But I was like, he's got to be from Houston. Yeah. And so, and because he had the sound. He had the South Side din, 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 in the back of his shit. And I'm like, holy shit, it sounds like a movie score version of the South Side. And I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be. It's like it hit perfect. Everything the way I laid it out in the movie, and it ended to the credits. And then executive producer, and then from there to music by Slow Life Music. And you even see it here at the very beginning, Slow Life Music. Anyways, it was beautiful. We won an award. I don't even know if Slow Life even remembers this. He probably don't even know he has a fucking award-winning song on a documentary that we both won together before I even met him in person.
That's tight.
And so that Slow Life, I mean that concert y'all were on, that was one of my first times even meeting him Slow Life in person, I want to say.
At that one?
Yeah, or maybe it was at the Straight Outta Texas, but I hadn't met him in person until after we had already won an award together. And so, and I'll send you the link so you can check it out, or y'all put the link or something on here. But go check it out. It's called Jesse's.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's called Jesse's Fight Club. Jesse's Fight Club. JESSE and an apostrophe S. Jesse's Fight Club. It's a story about a heroic kid who beat cancer and ended up, performing and meeting Travis Scott and all kinds of other stuff. So it's got those little heartfelt moments in there. I mean, it's a tearjerker too. The way I put it together, it was like, ooh. And so this was before the pandemic time. And then after we won an award, we went into pandemic mode. That's when we started doing the virtual concerts. So I did the Day of Unity virtual concert in 2020, right? Because the Dope House, SPM, they always had their Day of Unity thing. So and I would set up and direct a lot of those before the pandemic for SPM. But so during the pandemic is when we really started doing that. So fast forward throughout 2020, 2021, it was one of the last virtual concerts we did, which was the Pop Exotico virtual concert, it came out on Cinco de Mayo, right? So I was looking for a bunch of Mexicans, right, basically. And Pop Exotico is like the Mexican logo of the exotic pop, right? So I did that virtual for them. And at the time, Peso was the hottest, like he was the face of Pop Exotico, right? Remember 2019, 2020? It was all Peso before OT, D-Baby, and all them started coming out. Peso was the big name.
Right.
And so I needed Peso on that virtual concert to really give it that cosign. Like, I'm like, bro, it's the Pop Exotico. Like, you're the face of this. We need this shit. And at the time, he was still on ankle monitor. And so he didn't really want to do it, or he just declined it a couple times, I guess, because we weren't that big yet, Hustletown at the time. So I think he was just kind of like, whatever. And I'm like, bro, this is a virtual concert. We'll come to you. We'll come to your crib. You shoot it outside. You got D Green out there fucking filming all your videos all the damn time. What you mean? So anyways, I was like, well, fuck it. So then I went back on the internet looking for someone else. And that's when I came across a message from Greg Gates, which is Mexican OT's original, his manager, the guy who brought him to me. And I saw that it was that La Muerte song that he has. And on the cover, he's holding the Pop Exotico on the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, I got to click on it. When I clicked on it, I mean, my Vince McMahon senses were just going off. I'm like, this kid right here. And on the song, he dissed Peso. What he did, he shot a slug. He literally said, Peso, ain't got nothing on me.
So would you say something?
So I'm like, if I put him on here and I film this kid at the Exotic Pop Warehouse on Peso's platform, basically, and he disses him on this virtual concert, it's going to change the fucking game. And we ran with it. I brought him over there. The first time meeting OT was at the Exotic Pop. He didn't even know he was going to the Exotic Pop Warehouse. He was tripping the fuck out, right? He's like, whoa, we here, da-da-da. He was very happy. He was like impressed like as fuck. So we brought him in there and, we recorded it. And the whole time I'm like, this kid's going to blow the fuck up. So fast forward now, that was 2021. 2 years later, Mexican OT drops the Lone Star Luchador. He does the Lone Star Luchador tour and Peso's opening up for him.
That's crazy, right?
And he's the biggest fucking product out there. And a lot of it started right there from that song, because that's what got everybody's attention when he did that. And he said that Peso's name in the Exotic Pop warehouse, basically calling him out a little bit. The next day I get a call from SPM, because SPM was able to see all of our content. I don't know if he still does now, but at the time he had his own TV channel, right? That guy's rich. He got his shit together on there. He still runs his shit to this day, SPM. But he had his own digital channel. In prison they have the TVs, and he had like the channel 59 point something, like one of those things. So they would feed him Hustletown content and stuff. So he saw that Exotic Pop virtual Pop Exotico virtual concert. So he's like, hey, put this guy on the phone. I gotta talk to him. So I called OT. I'm like, hey, I got SPM on the other line right now. I want to talk to you. Like, and he's tripped. What, for real? I'm like, yeah. You ready? I'm gonna click you on. Boom. Clicked him over. Let him talk. One of the first things SPM said was, man, how do you roll those R's like that? And everybody talks about the way he fucking rolls that tongue.
Like everybody. That's what I was.
Like he's very fucking, and the people don't know that that's really a gift that he has. It's not even a talent. It's a gift. Like, it's one of those Guinness World Record gifts that he just has. I don't even think he knows he has, but it's a gift.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you remember that one meme that was all viral, that one bald-headed singer that's singing and she's like, la, 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 la.
Oh yeah.
And she's really just using her tongue.
Yeah.
That's
it's a her?
Yeah, I think it's a girl.
I thought it was a dude.
Well, maybe it's a guy. He looks like a girl. I don't know. But whoever that person is has that same gift that OT has. It's a tongue. It's a certain thing that they
imagine a feature OT and that guy right there.
Ladies, imagine that tongue right there. Shit. That fucker is talented as fuck. I'm just saying like that. I'm just being real with you.
How you know, bro?
Man, that shit right there is so anyways, it's a gift and it's a talent. It's a blessing. God blessed him with that talent to do that, because a lot of people can't do that. I mean, Grupo Frontera can't even fucking do that shit. Like, seriously, that's a fucking that fucking is hard. So anyways, so yeah, I had already had a lot of that exposure to OT and what he did there before he got on Straight Outta Texas. So when he did, and he paid just like everybody, he wanted to enter himself. He's the one who hit me up. Like, hey, what's this Straight Outta? I want to get on there, da da da. And okay, cool. And he literally paid out his pocket just like everybody else. All right, we'll let you enter. But when he entered, I'm like, that's gonna be a wild card. I ain't gonna lie, he's pretty much gonna steal the show. It's almost like unfair.
Yeah.
Because I already knew he's good. But let's put him in front of everybody else and see. And we had 30 contestants. That's the one Straight Outta Texas that we had like the most contestants ever.
Oh shit.
So, and he literally, it was kind of like a landslide. There were some really good artists on there. I want to say G Love was one of them also. That was one that made it to the hot 5. I want to say Yazzie Nicole. Like, there were a lot of these people, Lopez, all of them were already on Hustletown years back prior. They're all still kind of making their name right now. They're all still getting out there. They're killing it. But they all come from the same class as OT. You know what I mean? They were in that 2021.
That's dope.
And so yeah, man. So that was the setup for OT. And again, of course, then he won Straight Outta Texas, which really solidified him even more. You know what I mean? And to this day, he always still, is just thankful about it. He's mentioned me on a lot of podcast interviews. Dude. He is. He's a humble dude. And that also helped us out. That helped us out a lot. That helped us out as far as, giving us the credibility and the testimonials. And, now I still got a lot of artists to this day that are like, hey, what's up with, I don't want you to do what you did with OT. You know what I mean? Like, they saw that and they're like, fuck, they want to come to Hustletown. So it definitely passed us a lot of blessings too. So, man, shout out to Mexican OT, bro.
You're not doing any of those anymore, are you?
We are.
Oh, you are?
We are. So 2025, like I said, this year we're going to be doing Straight Outta Texas 21 now. The last one, we went up all the way up to 20.
Shit, weren't you part of one of those, Ashley?
Which one?
I think so. Yes, you were. She at the One Club.
Yeah.
Ashley was on there too. Can you grab this real quick and let him know in a podcast? My bad. I have someone on site over at that Slim Thug Zero show.
So when is that? When you doing that one? The next one?
June 1st. No, so this next one is gonna be a Texas tour. So what happened was we announced the final one in 2023. Which was OT came and headlined that, which was the Hustletown Music Festival. He's headlined the past 2 Hustletown Music Festivals. Each one of those we have like a straight out Texas contest there and have OT since he always comes back home basically is what we call it. He comes back home, to come perform there. But the last one we did was Straight Out Texas 20, and that was Labor Day of 2023.
We announced 20 of them, Mark?
Yeah, we did up to 20. We were doing them almost monthly for a while, but the thing is, I stopped and I announced it as like this is gonna be the final Straight Out of Texas, knowing damn well I was gonna bring it back like the McRib, but I just need to get everybody one, because it's getting played out eventually. You do something too long like that, you're gonna play it out. But now when Straight Out Texas coming back, hell yeah, the boom and the advertising and you're seeing OT another place where this oh yeah. So now we got the excitement back built up again. And we did other stuff since then, other contests, opening acts stuff. We still always have shows to this day. Shout out Carlos Carleone, shout out my boy Eduardo, Queen Casray. I got a really good promotions team that is still to this day doing shows for local artists. So we never stopped. But as far as the Straight Out Texas, we just we put to a stop for a while. But it is going to be coming back. We're going to be doing a Texas tour this time. This will be starting May of this year, so May 2nd all the way. It's going to be a 10-city tour, right? So 10 of the cities in Texas, of course, Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, West Texas, South Texas, all that stuff. So we're going to be going all over starting May 2nd, every Friday and Saturday in May. So we got 5 weekends in May, 10 shows, going all the way up to May 31st. And then the following day, that's Sunday, June 1st, is going to be the Hustletown Music Festival again here in Houston again. So all 10 winners of the Straight Out Texas contest in each city, we can get a winner. And they're all going to perform and open up for the headliner of the Straight Out of the Hustletown Music Festival. It sounds like so many different names. It gets confusing.
I thought you was going to make them fight or some shit.
Well, we'll get into the boxing next coming up too. We're getting to the boxing thing because we did that too. We had G Love was boxing multiple artists, and we had the fight.
Yeah, I remember that. I think we saw Mexican Connected and
G Love. So that one I set it up. Well, that one G Love was always setting up her own stuff, but me and Go Toes, G Love was the Hustletown fighter with the Hustletown on her trunks, and then Mexican Connected was representing.
They actually wanted to fight somebody. You wanted to fight somebody?
We probably still could. I'm telling you because we are going back into the boxing. Actually, our first boxing event is going to be 1 month from now, or February 15th, day after Valentine's Day. It's actually called the Valentine's Day Massacre. That's from Texas Combat Sports is the company that I'm working with now with that. Of course, Hustletown is going to be all in there. You'll see all that. And I'll be doing the announcing and the hosting. And I'm also doing a lot of the directing of it. So, your boy had to do a hip hop and boxing type of stuff. So we're going to still have our boxers, but we're going to have performers and stuff in between. We're going to have, It's like, I don't know. It's like my version. It's like a boxing version, but also ECW. It's gonna be some different. We're gonna bring it. We're gonna
pull out the tables or what?
I mean, damn near. At least the entrances, the excitement. Remember the entrances back in the day, wrestling and shit. We used to be so much
crazy.
So imagine that performers performing. While the artists coming out, and the fighters. Mexican OT being there type of thing. So, I mean, we got a really good budget to kind of pull a lot of these things off. So you'll definitely see Mexican OT a few more times on Hustletown this year alone, too. And like I said, the Straight Out of Texas winners, the artists that win that 10-city tour, they are coming to open up for whoever that is. Maybe Mexican OT again? Who knows? I can't announce that just yet. We do have 2, though. We're going to have Straight Out Texas 21 and then 22, we'll do another one later on around August. We're going to do another 10-city, boom, 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 whoever opens. So he's probably, I think OT is going to be on that one, the second one. Whoever's this one's going to be, I don't know. We're looking at probably D-Baby and Zero. I think that'll be a fucking hard-ass show. Them 2 headlining. But I don't know. We're still in talks with all that. But that's coming. So from our artists, yes, we are going to be doing Straight Out Texas. I'm going to be heavily involved with those. Cause I mainly, on the music stuff now, like I said, we got our promoters that are doing the local, the weekly and the monthly stuff. Yeah. So when I do get involved with the music shows, it's going to be like the festival shit. Because that's usually that's what I specialize in, is more doing the festival.
Events and
I want 20 different events and one ticket price type of thing. You got 3 different states, all that shit. I'm like, I try to Vince McMahon this shit. You know what I mean?
Don't Vince McMahon it all.
Not like that, no. No, hell no. I'm not. Man, it's crazy because for years they people would call me the P Diddy of H-Town sometimes with some certain moves that I make, but not like that.
Bro, I had a portrait of Vince McMahon. We had to put it back there.
Don't do that. Bring that motherfucker right up. I still fucking salute Vince McMahon.
Hey, that man
I fuck with Vince McMahon. He's a fucking beast.
He's a genius, but fuck.
It's just it's just nowadays we live in a very this cancer culture shit is way too fucking out of line. I'm gonna be honest with you,
bro. He shit on somebody, bro.
I'm not mad at him.
Hey, you can't take it away from him though. He's a fucking genius, man. Mm-hmm. But before we wrap it up, you mentioned Lopez. What's up with this whole beef she got with SPM?
How you feel about that? I stay as far away from it as possible. Me personally, because I have a lot of support for Lopez. Like I said, a lot of people don't know that she's gone so far back down with Hustletown. Like she really goes back with us. She won the Day of Unity contest in 2019. Like she made it up to the Hot 5 on a Day of Unity contest I did in 2021 there at the Dope House, which a lot of people don't know that I built that stage. I built that house. Yeah. I did all that. I built a lot of that shit. That's why I'm doing the stages and stuff for this combat sport that we're doing too. Like I'm making them more like, imagine someone coming out of that Dope House with boxing gloves ready to walk to the ring, like some sick. Yeah. You know, and also the stages, that goes back to me doing a lot of the sets at, Phobia and Scream, where I worked at all the haunted houses back in the day too. I managed Phobia for years. Well, I was one of the managers of one of the houses back then. That was my first job in high school. So I was learning how to do the sets and creating everywhere you go. You got to learn a little bit. You got to take all that shit in. I did even the prosthetic makeup and all that for a lot of actors too on that shit. Like I literally so for me to be in the films nowadays, and this it's just already been an artistic thing, I guess, from years coming of just different things that I did. But but see, to the Lopez thing, man, I go far back with Lopez, and she's a really talented artist. So for her to go that route, it's like I'm staying. I don't, because people will take whatever you say at this point. It's like anything you say is gonna be like, oh, so you're on her side, or oh, you're on his side, and then Carlos too. I work with SPM a lot. He's done a lot for me. Like my mom passed last year. He donated money. He donates to our charity stuff every year. He sends money for us to buy a bunch of toys for kids and stuff. So he does do a lot of good out there. But he, with other people, he's had mixed relationships with a lot of people as far as people that have been with him from years. And I've seen him shit on people basically too. So he kind of has that side too. But I kind of stay on your side. I mean, I don't think he was wrong in any of the stuff that went down. I'll be honest with you. It was business. I mean, there's reasons why artists, because she's upset about a lot of, not being included in a lot of decisions that we're making, which she wasn't supposed to be. If you're an artist, you're not supposed to be. And that's real. Mexican OT ain't sitting in none of these fucking meetings that these people are doing, deciding anything with them. That's what the managers are there for, right? So, but at the end of the day, too, she's passionate about what she does, and she's like, fuck that. Then okay, girl, do your thing. But I wouldn't have allowed her in the rooms either. No, and look what happened. That's why. So you think that was just bad management? It was just a bad decision. It could have been emotional. In her ear, maybe. Artists are very emotional and passionate at the same time, right? This is why I don't manage artists either, because I don't got the patience for that shit. And they don't listen. No, and so I don't think it was a good idea either, because I think she probably would have been better off in the situation she was in now, especially she would have had a lot more money, and I think it was just one of those things like, fuck that, I don't care about them. I believe in what I stand in. Okay, right. But me personally, no, I wouldn't have allowed any of my artists to be in that's what we're there for. You know what I mean? As a management team, that's what it would have been. So, but I do wish her nothing but luck. Of course, she's killing the game. She's touring. She's still doing. She's going to get a lot of publicity out of what she's doing, and her talent is going to take her along the way. So, hey, best of luck to Lopez. We love you, we support you, and then